This is Chapter 20, Input Devices. Most new computers do not come with the old serial ports because they've been replaced with high-speed ports. But if you do find a computer with a serial port, it is most likely a DB9 connector. That's that little blue one to the left with the 9 pins, which uses the RS-232 standard. The universal serial bus or USB ports are high-speed serial ports. The USB controller controls every USB device connected to it. But remember, it's shared by every device plugged into it, so speed and power are reduced with each additional device. Here's a chart comparing the speeds of various USBs. If you'll notice, the transmit speed of the very first USB 1.0 was about the speed of the very first CD-ROM drive. If you will notice the transmit speed of the USB 3.0, it basically can transmit 90% of a CD-ROM drive in 1 second. In theory, a USB interface supports up to 127 devices. In reality, too many devices will overtax its power capabilities and will keep them from, so when you plug in the, 5th or 6th device and it doesn't come up, that's probably the reason. USB hubs come in a variety of shapes and sizes. They extend the number of devices you can attach to a single USB port. It is best to get the powered variety so that you don't run into the power shortage on your devices. And if you notice the little stick figure on the right, I saw him in Big Lots over the weekend. FireWire is another standard for high-speed devices. It comes in 4-pin without power and 6 and 9-pin versions with power. FireWire has 2 speeds, 400 megabits per second and 800 megabits per second, which means that USB 3.0 has surpassed the 400 megabits per second speed. You're probably not seeing as many FireWire ports since USB 3 came out. When troubleshooting USB or FireWire, first you should replace the malfunctioning device with a known good device. If that works, most likely the first device was the problem. If that does not work, then it is possible the port is the problem. If the device is the problem, replace it. If the port is the problem, check and make sure it's enabled and that the cables are in working condition. Standard input devices include the keyboard, which I hope you're familiar with. The mouse, also fairly familiar. The scanner, which you may or may not have access to or experience with, but it does scan flatbed scanner documents and photos. Biometrics, most laptops come with some kind of biometric scanner at this point. Barcode scanners, hopefully you probably see them every day in grocery stores and other businesses. Screens are an input device, becoming more and more popular, usually on tablets and smaller devices. A KVM switch, while maybe not technically an input device, does enable you to use a single or many more other input devices with multiple computers. A digitizer tablet basically allows you to draw and that be input into the computer. As we talk about images being input into the computer, this table shows you some ideas about image size, image resolution for output. The low resolution image at the top is about a 0.3 megapixel. It basically says, and I would go with the offset printing column for photographs if you're going to put them on your walls. So about 0.3 is low resolution, 1.7 mid resolution, 8.2 megapixel for high resolution. That's basically 8.2 is going to basically allow you to print out 8.5 by 11 in photographic quality. Your textbook basically concludes that 5 megapixel cameras will allow 4 by 6 photographic quality printouts, while 10 megapixel cameras will allow about an 8 to 10 photographic quality. Otherwise, you're going to get some pixelation. Cameras, webcams of around 1.3 megapixels and 300 frames per second will deliver a decent resolution without bogging down a broadband connection. And as always, remember to keep calm and document everything.